Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander.
And welcome to another episode of our card spotlight series in which I highlight a card that I think should see more play in Commander. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Eomer, Marshal of Rohan. For 2 colorless and 2 red, it's a legendary creature, human knight, 4/4 with haste, and whenever one or more attacking legendary creatures you control die, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. This ability triggers only once each turn. So this card was spoiled a while back, and I thought it was really interesting when it was spoiled because it reminded me a lot of Karlach, Fury of Avernus. Although I think Karlach is obviously the better card, they do share quite a few things. For a start, neither of them need to actually attack for the ability to trigger. That's really cool because you can hold them back if the board state doesn't seem that good for you, and then you can just swing in with other creatures and still gain the advantage of their trigger. The other thing that they have in common is that they both only trigger once a turn. That's pretty fair because obviously otherwise you could go infinite with this very easily. There's a lot of recurrable legendary creatures that you could play, but it's a very interesting card because it is going to untap all creatures you control, not only legendaries when something dies. It does need to be a legendary creature and it does need to be attacking, so those are 2 fairly big conditions, but if you manage to meet those and you have a deck that can consistently meet those, then this is an incredibly strong card because it comes stapled onto a 4/4 haste body. Being able to attack immediately with this is really good when you factor in the extra combat steps, because that means it's not actually just representing 4 damage out of nowhere, it's representing at least 8 damage out of nowhere if they can't deal with it in the first combat step. The other cool thing is that even if they remove Eomer, as long as he's already been declared as an attacker, then you're still going to get the extra combat step. So what you will need to make sure if you have this kind of deck is that you have a large amount of legendary creatures, which is something that most decks will fulfill fairly easily in today's Commander format. And then the other thing you need to have is some sacrifice outlets. You can't rely on your opponents blocking with their stuff, because why would they? If they see that this is coming and they can avoid blocking, they're absolutely going to. Of course, there will be times when they can't and they're just going to have to block and you'll get the extra combat step, but these will be few and far between. So you absolutely need some sacrifice outlets. Luckily for us, there are a lot of sacrifice outlets in Commander. Without going outside of red, you've got Goblin Bombardment, which is obviously great, and then you can get some more depending on what other colors you're pairing this with. So not to beat a dead horse like I always do, but this is very good in Yoshimaru and Rograk because you're probably going to have a lot of small creatures and some of them are going to be killed by your opponents, and all you need to do is add in a couple of sack outlets, which shouldn't be too hard to do. Even something like High Market will do it, and then this becomes incredibly powerful in that deck because you're an aggro deck after all. It's again incredibly good in Shanid Sleeper Scourge, and that deck is more likely to have sacrifice outlets anyway because it's running black, which has some of the best sack outlets such as Yeheni, which is perfect in that deck. And at that point it's very easy to trigger this turn after turn after turn. That's a pretty powerful ability to be able to repeat every turn. So it does require a lot of setup, and it's definitely a situational card. It's not going to be universally good in every deck, but in the decks that it's going to be good, and if you have the right kind of setup, then this is going to be an incredibly powerful card. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.
Woo!